Hi, this is Matt Donegan from Business Spotlight. I'm here with Haroon. Haroon, tell me about you and your business, please.
Hi, Matt. I'm Haroon, obviously, representing Partbusters. I'm the CSO of Partbusters, a young automotive entity which has been recognized for its tech innovations, its synergies, and how it's been utilizing its experiences from within the automotive and fashion sectors to disrupt and innovate the automotive aftermarket industry.
Wow, okay, that's a fairly unique offering. You're coming from fashion and automotive. Can I dig deeper a bit on that? Tell
Of
me.
course. Yeah, so of course, historically, two families, very close family friends. You can say we are related in a way. One's from India, one's from Pakistan, so cross border. One's been in fashion, and the other side has been involved in automotive. Uh, the fashion side has done really, really well. They are possibly the world's #1 for children's fashion designer. We're online, a company called childsplayclothing.com. We have really capitalized and grown over the last 15, 20 years on e-commerce models, particularly because we were innovating and engaging on social models. So one of our first mechanisms of engagement was actually utilizing celebrities, influencers, sports personalities, whoever it was, to promote ourselves and the brands that we were partnered with. So over there, we were partnered with leading fashion brands such as Gucci, Versace, uh, Burberry, etc., etc. And from there, we really, really grew. And the learnings we've had from there, we're now sort of applying to the automotive sector, where the automotive sector has particularly been very non-synergistic, very antiquated, working on protecting a legacy, where we have strategy sessions with these manufacturers, and we discover through close strategy sessions that protecting your legacy in today's day and era post-COVID is very counterproductive. In today's day and era, you need to be very, very synergistic. And we use historical examples such as champion spark plugs at the time of Ayrton Senna, when he was the world champion. Champion spark plugs was the #1 spark plug to be chosen by every manufacturer. The moment they withdrew their sponsorship and engagement at Formula One, in came Bosch, NGK, Denso Sard, and a plethora of brands. Today, champion spark plugs was once at the apex, at the top. Today, it's right at the bottom of the list of brands. So we turn around and we discuss with them, you need to be synergistic in today's day and age, looking at other new brands that have been white labeled and really, really move forward because they've been engaging with the industry. We also look at simple examples to give them. For example, do a quick survey of 18 to 25-year-olds and ask them, your car needs a service. What brand of air filter are you going to buy for your car? Your car needs new tires. Tires are very important for, braking, skidding, etc., etc. What sort of tire brand are you looking to buy for your car? Now, most of the people will turn and say, I don't know. And we turn around and say, why is that? The manufacturers historically expect the distributors to engage and educate the customers on their behalf. But distributors in today's day and age are under a lot of immense pressure of data standardization, pushing data out onto different channels, out different compliant requirements, and gaining the sales and creating the margin for them to operate efficiently. So today, when we have our strategy sessions, we're trying to say we need to re-evaluate our engagement mechanisms. We need to take on more responsibility upon ourselves as manufacturers, and really, when we talk about legacy, what's the safeguard mechanism for legacy? So one of the really innovative mechanisms for safeguarding your legacy is actually synergies. And we use lots of examples of synergies of how that's happened. So today's day and age, you have Nike with Dior. You have Liverpool Football Club doing something with Nivea, for example. So you have plenty of crossovers, but you have nothing in the automotive sector.
Okay.
Sorry.
So you're
Sorry,
challenging.
Matt, I can go on forever.
Yeah, I'm sure you're very passionate about what you're doing. So
Yeah.
effectively, what you're doing is you're challenging the paradigms in one industry using some lessons that you've learned in another industry. So fashion, at its heart, is fast moving. It's it,
Very.
it's an industry that every quarter it's recycling what it does. It's got talent coming in and going out all the time. And even though it's obviously a multi-billion pound industry, it's still fast moving. How do you find with the automotive industry, which is traditionally very slow moving, it's slow to adopt technology, that I would argue. Um, they're giants, right? They're the whales
Mm.
of the sea. They turn very slowly. How do you work? How do you bring the
Okay.
synergies of one industry into another one that isn't easily going to think that way?
So bringing the synergies in is a very, very difficult task. Like you mentioned, they're very old and antiquated in terms of not synergistic in the industry. And that's purely because, they're worried about competitors overtaking them in certain areas. And due to that fear, um, it is very, very, very difficult to get them to commit to a synergy. So what we do is we found 14 manufacturers that have the same ethos and belief that are non-competing, firstly. And we've onboarded them onto uh, uh, our proposed model to actually now synergize and let's create something together. So what we've turned around is the responsibility is on everybody, but we notice that everybody has a fear of going out and engaging alone. So what we do, we'll engage collaboratively, we'll decipher collaboratively, we'll analyze collaboratively, and then we'll move forward collaboratively. So in essence, that's one of the issues. But then, sorry, your question again, there was a point that you mentioned in your question
It,
that I
it,
wanted, the first bit.
yeah, it was about adopting philosophies that aren't ingrained in one industry but is ingrained in another. So
Yes.
fast moving consumer goods is effectively in some respects
So,
fashion,
yes,
not automotive.
that's
So
it. Now I remember.
how do you
So
flip?
fast moving is very, very important because if you look at the history of the automotive aftermarket, so if we go back to the 80s and 90s, if one was to look up a parts for a vehicle, you go to the motor factors or the main dealers, and they'll have a microfiche diagram where they will look up. And then the data systems were very old ERP systems, etc. So you pick up the phone and call Germany. Do you have this part in stock? I said, we should have, but let me send someone over to go and look for it. I'll call you back in a short while. So all that was done over a fax machine and etc. etc. So that time taken to find a part was actually correlate in terms of the sales volume of the industry. So as systems have been introduced and created, the time taken to search and find a part has had an effect on the growth of the industry. So when we're talking about slow moving, it's globally it's worth in excess of $830 billion. It's got a compound annual growth rate of 27%. It's never affected by a recession. In fact, it's actually catalyzed and stimulated in recession because people would not buy new cars, they'd rather spend on their cars. So that's where this industry is very resilient and very versatile. Now, when we're talking about technology and the slow to move in technology, again, this is one of the biggest issues of one. This is why we come in as a solution provider, because if I was a young tech developer and I realized the industry needs this sort of tech model and I've created an application, now when I go out there, envisaging that the whole industry is going to be singing and dancing about my wonderful innovation and they're going to onboard and take this on. That's not the scenario. The scenario is going to be one distributor, very large one, will say, I'll take this on, but you're not allowed to sell this to my competitors.
Mhm.
So realizing this, the tech world do not see any value in creating innovations, plugins, applications, extensions, whatever it is for the automotive industry because they feel they don't have a target market.
Mm.
That's where it's really slowed the industry down. Now, where we are being recognized as tech innovators is because we are very, very synergistic. We actually get out there, we focus on the innovation, and we're not focused on keeping the innovation for ourselves. We're focused on creating the innovation for the betterment of the industry. Again, we look at this as a responsibility because there are thousands, I can't remember the figure, but there are thousands of families in the UK that are working within the automotive aftermarket industry. So in UK, if we're in this industry, we are all stakeholders within this industry, and it's our responsibility to safeguard this industry. Again, UK for us has a very, very proud history in the automotive aftermarket because UK Mintex, Jaguar, were one of the first innovators that invented and introduced the brake disc, which then led Jaguar to win the Le Mans race 2 years in a row with a slower car.
Okay.
So again, we have a lot of history and we are stakeholders, I believe, within this industry.
Okay. So you're the guardians at the gate in some respects. I get that. What's the business journey for you guys like at the moment then? Is your business flourishing because you're taking this attitude towards trying to reshape some of the thinking in the industry, or are you finding some challenges?
Listen, introducing any sort of change within your own business is met with resistance. Everybody knows that change is naturally met with resistance. So we know, we expected, and we knew what was going to happen in terms of resistance and apprehension. But at the same time, we've also got very, very, very strong support from people from the world's largest manufacturers, such as Bosch. So with Bosch, we were given a pilot study, a pilot integration to integrate our front-end website into Bosch wipers and Bosch Automotive Aftermarket.com, where Bosch historically do not sell directly to the public. But, you know, as we're talking about taking on responsibility of safeguarding your own brand, they've actually asked us to create an integration where somebody can go to Bosch, purchase the part, and then check out. When they check out, it automatically brings out the Blockbusters basket. That's been working successfully for about a year and a bit now. So that's how good we are. And that integration was worked on with Bosch and one of their German technology partners. The installation, integration, and the final testing was completed by ourselves.
Right.
When we completed this within 2 weeks, Bosch did mention to us that they had tried to work with a very, very large UK distributor who spent 8 months on this that could not complete the integration. So again, it's exemplification of our ability to innovate and work on technology and very quickly implement and push out systems in a live scenario. At the same time, we're also we've been pushing official brand pages for the manufacturers such as Bosch, First Line, Gates, etc., onto marketplaces to allow the brands to have a stronger representation of their inventory, because a brand would normally historically give their data file to a distributor and the distributor applies a spend on SEO or marketing. But now realizing that they're falling behind, we've said to them, you need to take on a responsibility of data standardization and marketing yourself. Now, one of the easiest ways to do this is publish your catalogs onto official brand pages, because marketplaces have the highest spend on SEO. So it's a wonderful solution from our point. And although it doesn't benefit us as ourselves, it does benefit the industry.
Okay. So what are the next steps for you guys then? How are you expanding your business?
So we've always been focused on technology. The first 3 years was spent on building the technology top down. So again, normally one would build the technology bottom up. We built it top down because we knew the biggest issues in this industry is upscaling, continuously upscaling. So knowing where we wanted to be, knowing that we had established the partnerships with the largest manufacturers, so we know we had the strength, knowing that we also have the mechanisms for engagement in place, All that we needed was to create technology that could easily be actioned, switched on country by country, territory by territory, etc., etc. So that's where we've been working on, and we've really at the same time innovated by creating some new hardware technology to go into the B2B area.
Okay.
Where, because we've had 15 years of experience of working with garages and know the problems that they go through, we've actually digitized the circular economy again, meaning the warranty and return system. So normally at the moment, garage owners, every Saturday morning, they phone up their supplier and they go through all the returns and do their accounts and you owe me this or owe you this, etc., etc. Now it's fully done on an automated tablet that we've introduced, we've built, tested. We've already spoken to Bosch about testing in Bosch Garage Network. We are really pushing this as one of the first ever, what do you call this, aggregators in the industry, because not only does it have our stock feed, we also have our partner stock feed, which means the factory stock feeds from our brand partners, but we also have stock feeds from our competitors.
Okay.
Right. So again, it's a very strong disruption because a garage owner can just phone up one supplier that he knows. If he doesn't have the part in stock, now he spends a lot of time researching to see if somebody's got that part in stock. But when you use our hardware, it will show you who in UK has it, meaning it will be coming through us, but it's a good representation of the brand. So little innovations like that are really being strong in terms for the future, what we're looking at doing.
Okay. So if I look across your kind of spectrum of what you're doing and the challenges that you're confronting, what lessons have you learned before in the past that are going to provide you with kind of safe passage? What are the things that are you going to lean on in order to develop this business? What are your key learnings?
Well, key learnings is there's key learnings every day. You can never turn and say I've learned the end all of it. So one of the things was do not trust anyone. Contract all the time, NDA, MOUs, necessary documentations. Get used to putting everything in the diary. I mean, everything, not just the meetings. You know that you'll always be impacted by industry politics, no matter how friendly or whatever you are, wherever your position is, you will always be affected by industry politics. And one of the main things, do not commit when under pressure. So a lot of
Do not commit when under pressure. External forces always
yeah.
with pressure. So do not commit when that the pressure's on. That's good. That's I like that. I like that. There's a really good.
And then if I was to advise anybody that was young to start up, I would say one of the core key skills that I'd recommend anybody have as a really basic is Excel. Be an Excel champion. All technology, everything works on Excel. If you're an Excel champion, your life is so much easier. You're more organized. It's a very good tool for organizing. But another thing I would say to everybody is adopt and learn Lean Six Sigma. Although it's a project management tool, if you understand it, you implement that into every single aspect of your life, even your personal life, and it allows you to have greater control and clarity over what you're doing. So
Lean methodology, which of course came from the automotive industry originally.
Toyota.
So, and that is one of the greatest business lessons you can, or the biggest business systems that you can employ. You can employ it across sales and marketing as well as operations. It's absolutely fundamental to do that. The fail fast, learn, adapt, change. It's a fantastic thing. When you look at the history of it, applying that, it's fantastic. Actually, I couldn't agree with you more. I'm a massive fan of Lean. It's brilliant, right?
I took a refresher course about 10 years ago with one of my lecturers, named Lee Kem. He was doing a certified management consultancy course with the CMI. So I attended that. And what that did was he amalgamated all the different project management practices from PMP, etc., Lean Six Sigma, Agile. But what what it broke down was it showed you how to analyze and not just, look at analytics. Look at SWOT analysis. It's such a simple tool, but everybody forgets about this. So one of the things that we do within Partbusters is before and after a project, we do a SWOT analysis before the project, and then we do a SWOT analysis after the project. Can you pair the two? Then you realize if the threats have been taken away and the opportunities increased, you've actually had a successful implementation. So it's another tool there. And then visual stream mapping, et cetera, et cetera. So there's so many things. And then again, when we're engaging with certain entities, we do a stakeholder analysis. A stakeholder analysis makes sure that we're engaging with the right individuals and not wasting the time and efficiency in engaging in the wrong area. So those sort of practices we learned from management consultancy course, a very prudent course that really unlocked our potential. So I always recommend, for anyone to constantly incorporate Excel in terms of digitization, but Lean Six Sigma, management consultancy, because it helps you analyze and look at different ways of analyzing, creating data, and then allowing you to prove your thoughts as a strategist or a visionary of what you want to do.
Take it away from data and build it, or sorry, take it away from assumption and into data, into the world of data.
Yeah.
We live in such a data-heavy environment now, and such a data-heavy world. You'd think that was the obvious thing to do, but many people don't. Many businesses don't. They just follow a course, believe it's the right one from the beginning, and don't adjust. So yeah, I completely get that, and I'm sure you're doing that with your business on a daily basis.
Yeah.
So Haroon, it's been
daily basis. Yeah.
It's been fascinating speaking with you today. I really want to find out more about
Likewise.
your journey. I really, really like what you're doing with taking some of the methodologies, systems, processes, and philosophy behind one industry, i.e., a large scale industry that moves very quickly, like fashion, and applying it to a far more slow moving industry that is not necessarily adopting those kind of practices and putting them in place, and seeing what success you're breeding for your partners and for your own business out of that. So I really want to find out how that's going to continue and what your business journey is going to be like. Thank you so much for your time today. It's been absolutely
pleasure's all mine.
Pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Thank you too. Take care. See you. Bye-bye.